For as long as people have been making music, they've been finding ingenious ways to make themselves sound louder. By the mid-20th century, electronic amplification meant that volume could go as far as the engineer dared. But unplugged, what is the loudest instrument ever played? The answer might surprise you. First, we have to go back to 1976 in the Austrian town of Bad Kleftung. Here, in its famous cathedral, a young man named Hank Hoffmann was undergoing the intense training required to become an organist and avoid his parents' life of poverty. On his rare days off, he'd escape to the stadium of the local soccer team, FC Krampus, where a freak accident would change the course of musical history. In a tense cup game, star player Hans Lomberger scored a stunning goal to take the lead. Going wild, a young fan standing next to Hank fired a recent invention that had taken soccer stands by storm: the air horn.
I fell into a world of swirling horns and rode upon a mighty wind, older than the universe. My ears were injured, but my eyes were opened.
Hank became obsessed with fusing the complexity of the organ with the raw power of the air horn. In 1979, after 3 years and over 600 prototypes, Hank presented his masterpiece, an instrument built from dozens of ordinary air horns, meticulously tuned in a way that only Hank could command. He called his creation the air horgan. Its debut performance at the cathedral was met with mixed reviews. But by chance, the horns caught the ear of record producer Schnort Whiteman, who was attending a stranger's funeral. Blown away by Hank's groundbreaking sound, he took him straight into the studio. He added elements of funk, soul, and disco, eventually creating his 1980 seminal album, Honk.
I found it just about the most compelling music outside of Sonic Youth in the entire 80s.
That was one of the times when it was like I had never heard anything like it before. It was so compelling. It must have been similar to what it was like when people first heard Led Zeppelin or the Beatles, you know.
I loved all the stuff that he did. The song that I liked the whole album.
An overnight phenomenon. Hank topped charts in both the US and Europe.
Because at this point, his shit was popping off, you know what I mean? He was like winning Grammys and shit or whatever. You know, his shit was hitting.
And suddenly, Hank was filling stadiums of his own. At a huge concert in Brazil, Hank's air organ was set to become officially recognized as the loudest melodic instrument in history. But as the reader needle reached its stunning peak, disaster struck again. Hank was left with permanent ear damage and deep psychological trauma. The next decade brought a string of commercial and critical flops, while Hank became increasingly difficult to work with.
Mr. Hoffman, when you were writing Mr. Hoffman, album...
After the disastrous release of Childhorn in 1992, Hank was finally dropped by his label and retreated to the Swiss Alps to take up painting. Hank never performed or spoke publicly again, and his whereabouts is shrouded in mystery. What we do know for sure is his impact on music through the artists who had their minds blown by the horns of Hank Hoffmann.
It really does change your attitude about things.
It's done so effortlessly, and it's done with such a sense of fun and enthusiasm.
We all know how inspiring he was. We all know what his music stands. We don't have to say anything about the music. It speaks for itself. He was innovative. He was boundary changing. And he danced to his own tune. Irreplaceable.